Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray, and we are here to jump into episode 5 of season 3 of The Wheel of Time. So, last episode was a truly phenomenal episode, tentpole one might even say. We got to visit Rhuidean and follow along with Rand through his ancestral history to see the change over the entire current age. We went all the way back to the end of the previous age, the Age of Legends, and saw the initial, let's say, stone throw that toppled that age into what became the Third Age. Really fantastic episode, wonderfully written, wonderfully directed, and wonderfully acted. Like special shout out to Josha, who had an incredible performance, playing all of his ancestors. Loved the way that the visuals kind of came across on screen. Loved the directing, the editing, everything. Fantastic. So we are going into episode 5. I do know that the title of this episode is Teleran Riyadh, so I'm imagining we're gonna get some dream stuff. So I'm excited. I've mentioned before, if you've watched my previous reactions, that I love all the dream stuff in the Wheel of Time books. And there are a number of characters that we follow when they do like really trippy psychedelic dream stuff, including both main characters and antagonists, etc. So I'm super excited to really dig in. I'm assuming we're going to focus mainly on Egwene's training. Spoiler alert a little bit, and then maybe we'll get a little bit of Perrin, Wolf Dream stuff. Fingers crossed, but maybe not. We might decide to just focus this entire episode when it comes to the dream stuff on the parallels between Egwene and Lanfear, whom so far have been kind of our focal point when it comes to like the weirdo dream shit that's happening in season 3, because Lanfear's targeting Egwene because she's jealous, etc. There's a lot of things going into that. But honestly, I'm excited to get into it. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's just jump into the episode. Alright, so she took the Sa'angreal from the tree. Oh. Oh, baby girl. I do believe that they are replacing 2 big Sa'angreal with this and Kalandor. And if they are, then I'm pretty sure you need to be careful, girl, before you burn yourself out. Although, I think they're including the flaws, right? Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, they're including the flaws that cause this to be an item that can still burn you out. Alright, pause. Let me talk before we keep going. So, some Sa'angreal Sa'angreal allow you to channel the one power without burning you out, for the most part, if I remember correctly. But there are a few that like have some kind of flaw or some kind of defect or whatever, and they do let you get burned out if you use them. So there's a couple that we encounter in the books that do that. And so they're actually really dangerous to use, to channel, for some of the for most Aes Sedai, but certainly for Aes Sedai that are like middle of the rung, weaker, like pretty much most of the Aes Sedai of the current age are. They are all much weaker than the Aes Sedai of the Age of Legends for a variety of reasons, but you have to be careful. Gotta be careful. So I want my girl to be careful. But she's handling it. Oh, or maybe she's not. Let it go, baby. Let it go. excited to really get into the IEL. I love them.
Always have my leave.
I give thanks, roof mistress of my heart. You've met my wife, Bear. Now, meet my wife, Leon.
Are you a car? Great mother says you are.
Bit intense, bit rude, but all right, kid. Show your, show your arms.
I am.
And now the whole vibe is different. The one thing he's always wanted, kids.
The time for watching him is through, Egwene said I.
Yeah, it's time for your training. Yeah. Let's get into it. I love the dream stuff, you guys. Like, you do not even know. She reading letters from Moiraine. Are these old letters or current letters?
A heavy fragrance, your powdered roses. It enters the room before you do.
I've already let Queen Morgaze know.
Oh. Your net is coming apart, Mother.
She's like, let me use some fisherman allegories for you.
For a boat in the hall.
We know.
To cage the dragon reborn, as you should have done already. We're a novice, fawning over her like a lovesick puppy.
All right, madam.
That was a long time ago.
People don't change, Mother.
Let's bring up your pillow friend. Like, don't be like that, girl.
River trash.
Oh.
Same as the day you walked into this tower.
Woo. Ooh. Yeah, it's not looking good, Swan. Baby girl.
Ready for your tea, sister? And then maybe you can have a nibble of something. 3 sisters in each heart, each with one separate contact in another heart. This keeps...
Pause. Is she being... Like, I know that she was just zapped, mind zapped, but she might also, unfortunately, be a weak point in their secrecy. Like, assuming she's not a planted spy, assuming she's not Black Aja as well, she could easily be, like, interrogated and said, oh, what are you hearing? What do you, what have you heard from your sister? Like, what have you overheard during the times where you're with her, et cetera, et cetera. And because she also is still under the oaths, she's still, technically, if she's not a dark friend, then she's still under the oaths, then she could start spilling things out. And then because she doesn't have the wherewithal to guard her words in the careful way that Aes Sedai usually do, she could literally just tell them everything that she's just overheard. Like, this is dangerous to be having conversations in front of her. I feel bad saying it, but it is. Like, we're, conducting a bunch of secret meetings and, like, we have a secret agenda. Like, what if she gets called to the hall or something and, like, the sitters, because Elida's going to basically call for a vote. What if she calls her as a witness in front of the hall? And now suddenly she's living proof that there's some kind of collusion happening. I don't know.
Keeps any one sister from being able to reveal them all.
This seems
Liandrin
dangerous.
was able to connect 4 hearts. That would be 12 sisters. 11 attacked us that day.
So there's one still here,
At least one.
I need to know if it's Elida,
Liandrin left, and Elida arrived within days.
so I can take Elida's head.
Again. Yeah. Dangerous conversations to be having around Adelaus. Just saying. I'm just saying.
You know, you could just wear one of these.
Tie? It's delicious.
What is it? Is it some kind of bug?
Not with the head. It's going to bite your throat the whole way down.
Well, too late on that.
Delicious.
Moiraine said I. Would you like one?
I'm finished, thanks. No, you stay.
I'm ready.
All right,
Then
let's
hear
get
me,
into it.
Egwene. You must listen, remember, and do as you are told. Above all, you must not enter till Riot again. Until Madeleine or I says you may. Can you accept this? Dream world now. To do so is to take a risk. Death in the dream world means death here too.
I'm ready.
Yeah, why do I? Because Aes Sedai are arrogant as shit. Like, yeah, of course they think it's about the one power, because they can't conceive
When the
of
brass
anything
pin
else.
drops, you will hear it in the dream as well. It will bring you back if you lose yourself.
I didn't mean to.
Ooh, boo-doo. Careful. Don't get trapped. Don't get stuck. Good.
There?
Well. Yep.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yep. Alright, time to talk to Rand, because what the fuck? Rand and Moiraine. Let's chat.
Often in the past.
So why Aja sides with no one?
Why is that so kind of cute? She's really cute. But it's really messed up to use your sister like this, but I get it. I get it. You have to do everything you
Tanchico is
can.
spread over 3 hills in Tanchico Bay.
Oh.
The rich live on top of the hills.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating.
But there isn't much stability to the wealth in Tanchico for directions to the Black Aja in the old
Stop, both of you.
She is over there dying.
We know her name, maybe she has relatives in the city.
We don't even know if
we're wrong, maybe.
Exactly. So, let's get up onto the deck and we'll figure it out. Right?
No,
No.
Matt, we promised the Stout Mistress we stay. Matt!
No. Let him go and deal with that.
Help me up the stairs, please.
See, they about to get their asses thrown off this boat. Because they don't want to listen. Obviously, I know why they're ordered to stay down. Y'all about to get beat up.
We had the deal, Aes Sedai.
I apologize, Matt.
Lee, is that you?
Blood and ashes. Aren't you supposed to stay in the room?
Another blood and ashes. All
I
right.
couldn't give a toss. Just tell me this. Have you got a room on here? Can I stay with you instead of them?
No.
They're so goofy.
The reinforcements should be here tomorrow.
I really love the developing Matt and Min friendship that they've built in the show. Obviously, it'll feed into some other interesting storylines later.
If you'd let me.
Yeah, but if we had to move Matt out of the storyline he was in and try and find him back on the path, I'm glad that it's with Min and that Min and Matt have more time together and more things to do outside of, especially for Min, outside of Rand's story. Let's say that. Let's just say that. Let's just put it that way.
No.
He's dead ass too. Like, he's probably gonna get worn down eventually, but stop.
Why did you do that?
Who just did that? One of the girls. Because one of the girls can channel in the books.
One of you is a witch!
It was me.
I don't think it was, baby girl.
You don't have to do this. Please.
Oh God, why are we putting Natty through this? Oh, buddy. Yeah, I'd forgotten that one of Matt's sisters was able to channel and became like a novice.
Matty and the girls are in the camp. Bane, Chad, and I will sneak in.
I turned off the bond.
Oh, tough. Tough. Oh, they are so... They're in the middle of like some of the worst grief they've both ever felt. Pause. They're just not going to be able to make decisions that are healthy. Like they're just like, and they're both feeling it, and there's probably a feedback loop happening whenever they have the fucking bond opening and she's not blocking off and compartmentalizing her emotions. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been doing Marquis on myself. What kind of king can't remember his own people, his own kingdom?
I mean, you were a baby when you were.
You were just a baby when it fell.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Borderlands were... I can stay.
No. Go.
It's what you need to do, baby.
You're sure?
So she hasn't told anybody about the Forsaken. Oh, she's feeling weird about it. Yeah, so she hasn't told anybody about the Forsaken yet. Stalking her in her dreams. So it's probably just a discussion she's having between her and the wise ones. What's going on, baby girl? Let's talk about it.
Come here.
Oof.
Okay.
Oof. It's hard to face. It's hard to come to grips with.
Do you die tonight?
What?
Did you see it in the rings? And she must die tonight.
No. No.
If you tried. Sayo.
I mean, everybody. I mean, to be fair to him, he's obviously extremely upset, because they are best friends and they are like deeply connected and have been for the past 20 years. So to contemplate the idea of her dying, and not in like an old age kind of way, in a you're gonna get killed probably kind of way, and it's destined, you know. It's got to be difficult for him. But at the same time, there's also an edge of, you know, everybody is going to die someday. So she's kind of been afforded foreknowledge of when she probably is going to die. Obviously, she's seen a bunch of different futures, but she has a general idea of when it needs to happen. She just has to kind of almost pick which death she wants. But because of that, it means that you can live each day to its fullest because you know exactly when you're going to be coming up on your last day, you know? I imagine he's thinking about that. Like, if it ain't happening tonight, then let's chill. Let's just enjoy the moments that we have together right now. And there's also, how do I talk about this? I guess some slight spoilers for the books here. Lan, if I remember correctly, Lan during this period and before was pretty much living and walking in, how do I put this? He kind of didn't mind if he died. He wasn't like aggressively suicidal, but he had some ideation, let's just say that. And it wasn't his original plan before he bonded with Moiraine to like throw himself into the blight and everything and like, you know, battle against the shadow spawn until one of them killed him, basically. Like, those were kind of his plans. And so meeting up with Moiraine gave him a mission that allowed him to still, you know, fight the shadow spawn out of grief and loss and revenge, you know, vengeance, justice against the Dark One for destroying his people. But it also gave him a reason to live, which they talk about in season 1. They have a conversation with each other about, you know, have I taken everything from you? And he's like, no, you've given me a reason to live and a reason to die, you know, purpose. So there's certainly a level from him where he's always kind of contemplated his death. And it's only recently that he has found a reason outside of his mission, his and Moraine's mission, to live. And that's, of course, with Nynaeve. And he's slowly building relationships outside of Moiraine that are meaningful to him. Not just with Nynaeve, but also recently with Rand. He's just been, you know, forming connections. Even the connections he has with the other warders to a certain extent, although certainly not to the level of Moiraine and Nynaeve. But, you know, like, he's finding different reasons to live and to go on. He was seeing, I think, he's starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But he also is very experienced in understanding that death will come, probably will come in battle, and preparing himself for the idea of dying. So I think he's coming at this with that kind of unique experience of always sort of expecting to die at some point. And so because of that, I think he's trying to handle this situation with Moiraine like that, in a way that gives him a little bit more, instead of freaking the fuck out right there immediately, he's trying to give her reasons to still, you know, move from day to day. That's what I think is happening. Anyway, that was a really long roundabout way for me to say that, but, you know, hey, this is a reaction channel. You're gonna get what you get. Now, that doesn't mean that he's prepared to lose her or he thinks it's all right to lose her, but what I'm saying is that he wants to try and help her get through day to day, you know? These besties, I love them so much.
Another.
Yeah, let's just get wasted tonight. Let's just get white girl wasted together.
Details so that I could stop it.
Right. Right, well. It's lucky for us that your visions don't really come true. Do they? Probably not.
I mean, you don't...
Unless I have to go back to that cabin.
I mean, being hung doesn't necessarily mean you've killed yourself.
It's not much better here.
So he must be freaking out because one of his visions when he was with Ishamael was of him hanging. Like, weren't there several of them that were like that? I'm just
A
saying.
war with you three. You best believe these walls are thin.
No, he's freaking the fuck out. Oh, buddy.
And I happen to have some personal experience with Liandrin style.
Don't we all?
Literally, everybody who has a beef with Liandrin is in this room right now.
I trust her now.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Happy to get some Min and Elaine time, by the way. I want to see some more of that. I'm very fascinated about the idea of... Okay, listen. Spoiler talk now. I'm very fascinated about the way that they're going to build the polycule. Because that's one of the main things that I love about the Wheel of Time series. I just found that fascinating. I don't think it was necessarily well written in the books, but like I've said before in some of my previous videos, I always understand Robert Jordan's vision when it comes to his romantic couples or couplings, whatever we want to call them. I understand the vision. And so this is one that I'm super fascinated to see how they're going to adapt onto television, because they are making it less of polygamy setup and more of more mutual polycule happening. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to incorporate men into it. I'm a huge shipper, so I love shipping stuff. So I'm always going to be about that romance, baby. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to build it in, especially with Min and her relationships with Elaine and Avienda. I obviously I know exactly how it's going to be with Rand, because we had the most of that in the books. But with Avi and Elaine, I'm not sure. Anyway, in spoilers. Let's keep going.
I told the Amelin I would negotiate. If I can.
I am not like Siuan, Sanche. This is not a negotiation. All you will see is pain.
Somebody just went across.
You tell me her name.
Is that a gray man? Alright. We didn't get the name, unfortunately. Oh yeah, this is sus. Oh yeah, they're gonna immediately know that this is channeling.
This way.
What's he saying? Oh my god, are they cutting off wolf heads? Disgusting.
What is it, sir?
Here we go. Alanna, don't get caught.
Perrin!
Look, we don't know much. Where's your mother?
They took her that way.
Okay, go with them. They'll keep you safe. I'll get your mom.
Alright. Oh, she's being tortured within an inch of her life. Please don't kill Natty Cauthon. She really threw herself to them to protect her daughters. She really stepped up. Don't punish her with death. Oh, God. Oh, no. Looks like they might have punished her with fucking death. Oh, no. Oh, Natty, I'm so sorry, girl.
You need to stand up now. Come on.
Oh God, our team is not having a good day. They're not having a good fucking day. All right, Maxim came back. Okay, good. Oh God.
How did you find me?
You turned the bomb back on 5 hours ago.
5 arrows ago, which means he felt all 5 of them. Oof.
I have you now.
They did not have a good day at all.
Thought I might find you here.
In his dream, yeah.
You've never been here before you swore your oaths.
I'm not that person anymore.
You are? I see that woman in you. I saw her when I first met you back in Caria.
Is that who you want me to be? Some docile innkeeper?
You were definitely not docile.
Brave. You wanted the world to be a better place. You wanted people to have more than they had.
I love you. The dark
In as much
past
as she
and
can, in the ways that she can.
I've fallen in love with this piece of you that wants to save the world.
Messy. A mess. This is going to go poorly. I can tell you that right now. She ain't ready for this. She literally just started learning yesterday. Oh, this is about to be so messy, y'all. I'm thinking she gonna walk in on Rand and and Lamphere banging it out.
This is Teleron. This is your dream.
All right, all right.
Moiraine.
It worked.
I've come to you this way because I have no time. If the White Tower does not bend the knee to Rand al'Thor, he will lose the last battle.
No. You don't get to do that.
You can say 2 things and then just say one.
What would you have done? In Caria, knowing what I knew, what would you have done?
The same. Yours was to prepare the tower to follow.
She did her job. I think it's just your doubt, baby.
I make enemies too easily.
Ain't that the fucking truth? She barely got them kids on her side. If we gonna be honest, she barely got them kids on her side. She rubbed people the wrong way every time.
Stolen a couple of horses and galloped away to
Ridden
Tyr
off,
for a life on the river. No, we broke what we had. Siuan. Can't be mended, not in this life.
I will find you.
She knows
In the
she's
next
going
life.
to die.
Again and again until we get it right.
And I will wait for you. Every time. Every time.
Yeah, she knows she's going to die, so she's trying not to rekindle this, but it's like, baby girl, pause. Baby girl, Like, she's deeply in love with you already. She literally said that I promise in all of my next reincarnations, I'm going to find you. There is no scenario in which you die and she's not destroyed by that. There's no scenario. Like, you doing this just means that you're denying both of you happiness when you could be living it up. You could be making the most of whatever time you both have left. Like, take a drink with her, just like you did with Lan, and lean into your relationships and your support and your community. Don't pull away from it. But of course, Moiraine's not going to do that. She's not going to do that. That's not in her nature. It's not in her nature. Oh, here we go. I knew she was going to wind up next to Rand, and she's going to see them fucking on the rock that she used to go and be with Rand on. Oh, buddy. This is bad. Oh, buddy. Messy. Messy.
Nynaeve?
Oh, she's dreaming about her daughter.
The wind.
And what else?
Oh, is she gonna go and visit everybody's dream? Ah! She's dreaming that she's a sea folk. Windfinder. Oh, his little sisters. Oh, God! His mom. Oh, God, and she's super fucking dead. Oh, this is sad and upsetting.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yes. You know, Perrin made this. It's proper Two Rivers work.
The way his dad is not there. he said, fuck my dad. I mean, it might possibly be because they couldn't pay for the actor. Quite frankly. Like, let's be honest. Oh, it's gonna end with her in Rand's dream, and it's gonna be oof. Oh, Hopper.
Hopper, stay down.
Is he gonna see her? Oh, not dreaming about Fael. She's like, who the hell is that? Oh, buddy. Meanwhile. Awkward. Oops. Yep. That'd do it. Terrible. Fucking terrible. Just a fucking mess. Alright, so this was a great episode, but it was obviously nothing is going to compare to the last episode. The last episode was insanely good. There's nothing that's ever going to compare to that. Sorry, how much time do I have left? Okay. And I wouldn't expect this episode to be like last episode at all. Just because it was such a singular experience. So, but given that, I still very much enjoyed this episode. Do we think we could have had, hard to say. We didn't have any of the other storylines last episode. So having almost all of them, not all of them, but almost all of them in this one made sense. We had a lot happen. It was interesting. So let's kind of go story by story. Obviously, let's start with the Tanchico team. We got to see the Sea Folk for the first time, and we got to see a Windfinder for the first time. So love that. Love the introduction of Nynaeve to that culture for a variety of reasons, obviously. And having, like, this is what I'm saying. The thing with Nynaeve is that the way that the Aes Sedai are is just not conducive to the way that Nynaeve is. And it's not even just about the whole idea of control. Like, it's a bit of that, a lot of it, sure. But it's also the thing that they are talking about a little bit in this, which is that the Aes Sedai don't know everything, and they don't want to admit that they don't know everything. Outside of, like, a handful of people. And that's like, you know, some of the Brown sisters and like Varen, you know, or Rima. And so because the Aes Sedai are very stubborn and they believe that they are the end all be all to channeling and the one power, they don't want to consider approaches to teaching to the one power itself that don't align with their ideals and their belief system. And there's, you know, they have unfortunately driven away other channelers because of that. And quite frankly, I think it's also one of the things that contributes to why the Black Aja was able to grow within them as easily as it did. Because they don't want to consider even the possibility of them not being the supreme power and the supreme understanding of the one power, rather. Not the supreme power, but the supreme, you know, base of knowledge for the one power and how it works. And how to be a channeler and how to live your life, etc., etc. There's an arrogance with that, and there's a commentary on the Aes Sedai arrogance even within this episode. A couple of different ways, not just with the Sea Folk, but also with the Wise Ones and the way that they approach, you know, channeling. Like the fact that we had Melindra, I believe her name is? No. Yes. We had Melindra talk about the fact that she's not a channeler, but she is a dreamwalker. And that the Aes Sedai erroneously believe that dreamwalking is part of the one power when it is not. And they just won't believe that because they're so in their own heads about things, you know? So, like, there's an interesting conversation about that when it comes to Nynaeve because, again, I've mentioned before that the way that they are approaching Nynaeve and trying to teach her, for the most part, is not the right way to go with her. It's not the right way to go with her. She's only had a couple of breakthroughs, and it was with Liandrin, interestingly enough, and Rima. Those are the two people who have been able to actually somewhat teach her. And it's because both of them, in their own ways, approach channeling and approach the one power in two completely different ways. And they were able to approach her in different ways. So, which is interesting because both of them were tower trained, obviously. But, like, we know Liandrin has a different approach because she's a black, I was about to say Black Aja. I was about to say black friend, but dark friend, Black Aja. And Rima was able to approach Nynaeve differently, I think in part because they met outside the tower. They met in very specific dire circumstances. And Rima is out with the people, and so she has more experience with meeting with people out in the streets, meeting other, you know, wisdoms and healers and folk, you know, people who are not from the tower. I'm thinking that that's one of the reasons why she was able to approach Nynaeve and teach Nynaeve in a different way that was actually effective. Let's say that. And so we see here again with Nynaeve getting able in a position to be able to receive wisdom and knowledge from somebody else because she's not she's not being taught incorrectly, to be honest. Now, that's not to say that it's everybody else's fault that Nynaeve can't break her block. Obviously, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that that's part of the reason, is that there's an incompatibility there. Now, on Nynaeve's side, the seafarer woman, the seafolk woman was absolutely correct. One of her biggest issues is that she never wants to relinquish control over anything. And obviously we know that that is one of the main ways to channel as a woman, is to release yourself, is to give over yourself to the one power. That's how women channel. And then in the books, men channel by seizing control, the very opposite. So a lot of the time, Nynaeve is trying to she's trying to interact with the one power like a man, basically. And it's not the correct way to go. She has to relinquish control. And so it's super difficult for her for a variety of reasons, because of her childhood, because of her becoming a wisdom so young, and needing to be in control because of her own feelings. She has to be in control of her own feelings or they'll take over. There's a lot of things that cause Nynaeve to feel like she needs to be in complete control of every situation she's in. And it's her journey to learn that sometimes you're just not in control. And you have to find a way to navigate through that scenario, you know? And for her, that's wrapped up in her experience with the power, with the one power. Now, there's other things too. The fact that she's a wilder is also contributing to the fact that she can't channel. Obviously, she channeled. She's super powerful. One of the most powerful channelers of this age. And so when she had her first experience with the one power, it would have been extremely dangerous and overwhelming if she hadn't formed her block to prevent her from burning herself out and dying immediately, you know. But unfortunately, it also has left her with this crutch, for lack of a better word. It's not even really a crutch. It's more like a, you know, it's a blinder on her eyes where she can't do something. She can't do something unless it's one way, you know. And until she's able to let go of that mental block of being able to release control, not just to others, but to the world, to the universe, to everything around her, till she can get to that point, she's just not going to be able to channel unless sporadically, you know. So I did really like, though, that we got the first connection between her and the sea folk, because as we all know, if we've read the books, there's going to be more to come between Nynaeve and the sea folk. So, which I love. I love Nynaeve's, you know, sea folk journey. So I won't get into any spoilers, but it's fun. We also got Matt and Min along for the ride for this trip to Tenchiko. Matt now knows what Min saw in her vision and knows that Min is following them to try and prevent it. They've all decided to team up instead of having Min follow in secret and whatnot. So now she's their guide through Tenchiko because she knows that area. Yeah, because she travels all around. I can't remember, is Min from Tenchiko? I don't think she is, but I'd have to look it up. Originally, I'd have to look it up to see if she's from Tenchiko originally, her and her aunts. But I can't remember. I can't remember where exactly Min is from off the top of my head. But she certainly has traveled a lot. We know this, of course. So she'll be quite the handy guide here. And I've mentioned that I do like the decision to pair Min and Matt up. Those two were kind of the oddballs after the changes they had to do in the end of season 1 to kind of accommodate some of the things that happened during production. And so the decision to have them be paired up through season 2 and have their stories be entwined works for me personally, because I know what their relationship is like later on down the line. And I think that actually this is setting a lot of groundwork for some interesting stuff between them later. Yeah, yeah. And I enjoy their dynamic. I enjoy their like platonic buddy cop, you know, goofy ass, you know, friendship. It's like we have a lot of, you know, we have a lot of fun friendships in this series, and the TV show has exploited some and not exploited others that I wish they would. But at the same time, I have enjoyed the stuff that they've been doing with Min and Matt for in a lot of ways. So I'm excited to see more, especially having Matt along the ride with the Tenchiko crew. I mentioned earlier that it's very interesting that everybody in that room, everybody on that particular storyline has a major beef with Liandrin, has in some way encountered Liandrin in a negative fashion. Obviously, we know that Liandrin sold Elaine and Nynaeve to the Shanchan. Liandrin also, you know, captured and, I don't know, did what? Manipulated, gaslit Matt for like months. She also targeted Min and used her and tricked her into becoming a tool of a Forsaken, you know. So they all have major beef with Liandrin. So I like the idea of having them team up to chase after her, so that they can work through some of their issues there. We had, what else do we have from the Tenchiko crew? Not too much. I mean, it was mostly just getting us to Tenchiko and, you know, showcasing. We have a timeline. It's been 2 weeks that they were sailing, so at least it's been a couple of weeks since the last episode, maybe a little bit more. No, they got on the boat at Tarvalon, so it's probably been roughly 2 weeks since the episode before last. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Two Rivers. Oh my God, I can't believe they killed Natty Cauthon. That is one thing that I'm like, oh, how do I feel about that? How do I feel about them killing Natty Cauthon in the show? I don't know if I like it, but we'll see where it takes us. I mean, we're getting rid of characters. We're kind of slimming things down. She sacrificed herself for her daughter. So at least the show version of her, who was, you know, kind of written to be terrible, a terrible mother, that at least redeems her in that way. I just wish we could have saved her and she could have redeemed herself in another way. That's all. I know the message boards and the comment section is going to be fucking hot. I know everybody's already upset about the changes that were done to the Cauthon, so I know they're going to be hot because of this. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Matt is going to be fucking devastated, by the way. Once he finds out that his mom is dead, he's going to be so hurt. Ooh, and we had that dream he had in which he had his sisters and his mother with him, and she was proud of him and everything. And he did not have his father there. Very notably, his father was not there because he had kind of cut his father out of his heart after, you know, because I think in his mind, his father is the cause of everything that went wrong with their family. So to lose his mother while dreaming about her, oof. Yeah, so, what else? You know, white cloaks are gonna white cloak, you know. They really fucked up the crew though. They, jeez. So Perrin stabbed, Fail has been stabbed, although not as badly as Perrin. Alanna has gotten, you know, speared a bunch of times with arrows. She's not looking too good. I don't think we have another sister. We don't have another sister in the Two Rivers to help her heal. So, and she can't heal herself. So, she's just going to have to rely on, you know, old folk, you know, remedies, you know, small town remedies and whatnot for her, her arrow wounds. Maxim and her having the fight. I mentioned earlier, like, I do like the stuff that they're doing with Maxim, especially Maxim and Alanna, especially considering, you know, they're this polycule that lost not just a member of their polycule, but the member that they both were in love with the most. You know, both of them were the most in love with Ivan, than far more than with each other. And so now they're trying to redefine their relationship without literally the linchpin between them. And so we got movement here in this episode where, you know, they have this big fight. She turns off the bond again. He goes off. She gets injured. Then she turns the bond back on. And I guess she may have done it subconsciously, turned it back on in fear because she was in danger. And he felt that and came running back to help her. But I do feel like it's not just about the bond. It's also about the way that they looked at each other after, that maybe they'll be on the mend after this, you know, somewhat be able to mend their relationship, at least enough to no longer be at each other's throat as much. But, you know, a lot of their decisions of late have been because of, like, their deep, deep grief for the loss of Ivan. So I get it. I completely understand. We also get confirmation of why Alanna is here in the Two Rivers, which, of course, if you remember the books, that's why she was there in the books. Although Varen was with her at that time, but still, same thing. She's there in the Two Rivers because there's something about this area that produced a bunch of 5. Let's not forget, there are 5 Taviran, okay, that came from this one town, including the Hornblower, including the Dragon Reborn, including 2 of the most powerful channelers they've seen in hundreds of years. Like, yeah, I completely understand why Alanna would come here to see if she could find some more special people. So, we also get the White Cloaks getting more and more aggressive, and we have reinforcements now in the town, so who knows what's going to pop off between the White Cloaks and the townsfolk now that Perrin led a raid on the camp and took back the Cauthons. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. What else? Oh yeah, the severed wolf heads and everything. Ugh. God. What is his name? Valda? Ugh. The worst person. Ugh. So, yeah, that's gonna unravel pretty quickly, I'm thinking. And we still haven't even dealt with the Trollocs, you know? So, what else? I think that's everything I want to say about the Two Rivers. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Aiel Waste. All right, we got to meet, we got to their hold, the Ta'ardad Aiel's hold. I can't remember the name of their hold, but you know what it is. We got to meet Rock's other wife. So some more polyamory for you. But of course, that was straight from the books. He has multiple wives in the books as well. And we also got to kind of just have a very short glimpse into just like the relaxed Aiel culture. You know, them, how they eat, how they should, you know, communicate with each other, relate to each other as family, as community. We got to meet Rock's granddaughter, and she was really cute, really charming kid. I like the way that Rand interacted with her, because Rand is longing for the simple life. That was the thing that he wanted the most. Like on that very rock, which we're going to talk about in a second, he talked about what he wanted out of his life. He used to dream about, you know, the small town life, having a wife, having kids, what he would teach his kids, etc. So, of course, he's great with kids. He loves kids because he wants children of his own someday. But, you know, the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. So, you know, who knows if that's going to happen. Let's talk about it. All right, so we got Egwene learning how to control her dream walking. She's a dreamer. She's able to not just control her own dreams, but enter into Teleran Riyadh. the world of dreams, which is separate from people's individual dreams. So like there's a dream world, and then there's like, it's almost, you can almost think of them as pockets. There's the dream world, which is a little bit more magical, a little bit more mystical. It's almost like its own dimension. You can think of it as like a dimension. And then you have everybody who has individual dreams, and every now and then they'll wander in and they'll, you know, they won't know the difference, of course, because they're not dreamers. But they may accidentally die in Teleran Riyadh, and then if you do that, baby, you're dying in real life. So, but now we're learning how to enter into it willfully and how to control what happens while we're in there. But nobody knows Teleran Riyadh like the Forsaken, so she's up against literally a master of dreams. And Lanfear has a vendetta. Oof, oof. This is a mess. All right, so we got the meeting between Rand and Lanfear, and he tells her about seeing her in Ruidian and who she used to be, and how that changed his perspective of her. And I guess made him understand the parts of her that, you know, he found attractive or sympathetic or wanted to learn more about. And so the parts of her that actually drew him in, Rand al'Thor, not Luz Therin, but Rand al'Thor. And maybe those are the parts that Luz Therin originally saw when they were seeing each other back in the day. You know, hard to say. That she does have layers. She does have, you know, she is a full person, and so she's not just evil for the sake of evil or anything like that. Like, she's a person. She's a person who went awry, and she keeps making bad choices after bad choices. You know. And she's kind of too far in now. Like, there's no way out for her, or at least seemingly, unless we take her at her word that she can, you know, get out of her dark oaths. But either way, she's in too deep now, and so even though it's good to know where she came from and that she has those parts of herself that were good, that were actually a little bit altruistic, not 100%, because she still was doing all of that back in the day, back in the Age of Legends, to gain her third name. So it wasn't 100% altruistic. Like, she still was looking for prestige and notoriety in her field, which is completely reasonable. Everybody has ambition when you're, especially an academic. Come on. So I don't have a problem with that at all. But she let her ambition get away from her and become, you know, consume her and become all of what she saw. And then she wrapped that up into acquiring Luz Therin. And then now she's wrapping that up in acquiring Rand al'Thor. And those are the parts of her that, you know, make Rand uneasy and make him pull away. Now, she's willing to exploit all of that to get what she wants. Doesn't matter, you know, because again, she's very ambitious and she's very driven. So we get her doing whatever she can to try and pull Rand in. But it's interesting that it's only now that he actually is finally reciprocating after seeing her for the first time as she was as Mirin Sarai. It doesn't mean she's not manipulating him in this moment. Of course she is. Like, the fact that she even showed up in this dream where he's just there chilling on his favorite rock. You know, the fact that she even still is constantly, like, you know, going into his dreams without his permission at all is part of her manipulation. Let's not get it twisted. She's still grooming him. Like, listen, this is like a textbook grooming that she's been doing for the last 2 seasons. But with that in mind, though, it's interesting the way that Rand talks about control here on the rock. And his whole journey has been about him not having any control over his destiny, right? and him trying to come to grips with that, with the fact that there are things in his life that he will never be able to have. The pattern, his destiny won't allow it. And him trying to come to grips with that and find agency within that is kind of part of his journey as a character. Is that how do you find control in a situation which you have absolutely none? You know, it's almost kind of the direct opposite with Nynaeve. It's like he knows that he doesn't have any control, and he's trying to grasp at any bit of control he can find, you know. Whereas Nynaeve thinks she has control, and she needs to find a way to let go of control herself, you know. But now we have Egwene stumbling across Lanfear and Rand making out, about to have sex in his dreams. This is about to be a fucking mess, y'all. Oh, buddy. This next episode is going to be wild. Yeah. And not only did she walk in on him kissing and about to have sex with somebody else who was not her, like, it's the woman who has been tormenting her for weeks. Now, obviously, Rand doesn't know that that's happening. Rand doesn't have any fucking clue that Lanfear is in Egwene's dream and messing with her. But Egwene knows. And so we're about to have that conversation next episode. Oof. Alright. What else do we have? Moiraine Swan. Moiraine coming to grips with her own death, again, similar to Rand, a destiny that she has that she cannot escape. And how do you find agency in a situation in which you have absolutely no control over where your life is going to go? But it's a little bit different for Moiraine because she has foresight and she knows that she can actually choose between which version of the future she wants. She actually does have more control than Rand does. But she doesn't have control because her nature means that she has to choose one in which the world survives, in which Rand lives. She has to. It's been her mission for 20 years. It is her sole purpose, at least to her mind. And so the only control she has is in where and when and how she's going to die. That's what she gets to choose. But death is certain, at least as far as she knows, you know, as far as she can see. And that's the best opportunity for the world to survive. You know, maybe she'll get a better choices in her next life. And hopefully those choices come with Siuan, you know. So we have this reunion between her and Siuan, which was really lovely. I love seeing them on screen, always. Both of them having spent the last 20 years feeling like they had no control over their lives, that they had a duty. The wheel, the pattern itself called them to a specific duty, and they have to fulfill it, you know. And so it's been wearing thin on their relationship for quite a while now. And they're just clinging to moments at this point. They're just clinging to moments. It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in. I think, like I said, I think Moiraine is trying to pull away because she thinks, oh, I'm going to die. My death is probably, she knows her death is certain. And so now she's trying to spare herself, spare Siuan by pulling away. But of course, ultimately, she couldn't. Ultimately, you know, they still kiss. They still embrace each other. You know, sometimes you just can't, you know, resist the love of your life. And now Siuan is faced with the truth that Elaida is not Black Aja, and that she walked into that room with assumptions about who Elaida is, and just because they're enemies doesn't necessarily mean that she's evil. It just means that you guys don't agree on the path forward for the tower, you know. That scene between her and Elida in Swan's rooms, oof. And Elida saying all that shit, like, oh god, that inflammatory shit, oof. You know, Swan kept her cool, obviously. I'm sure it's not the first time she's heard Elida say that shit to her, as maybe even others. But yeah, just oof. And then we get, the Gray Man attacking. I wonder who sent the Gray Man after them. Very curious. Very curious indeed. Yeah, I'm eager to get more of the mystery of who's the Black Ajah members still in the tower. I'm ready to unfold that mystery. So I'm excited to see more there. All right. I think that's everything I want to talk about. We are coming up on 2 hours. So we'll end it there. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the next episode? Can you believe that this was episode 5, meaning we only have, 3 more episodes left, y'all, of the season. Fingers crossed that we get season 4. I've been loving season 3 so much. It's been so strong. Every season has gotten progressively better than the last. So if we stay on this trajectory, season 4 will be a banger of a season. I'm really, really hoping that we get picked up. Yeah. We'll go ahead and end it there. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to go over to Patreon if you're interested in full length of this show, as well as other shows, early access to this show, as well as other shows. By the time you're seeing this, I'm most likely completely finished over on Patreon. So feel free to jump over there to see the rest of the series with me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Whatever, all this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter.